you should have done this part in class. And then, so we're going to be talking about solving inequalities. Equations and inequalities are almost identical. You're still removing the parts away from the x. We're trying to get the princess by herself. It's the exact same thing. However, there's one extra step, and it's right in here. It says, remember, if you have to flip the sign if you divide or multiply by a negative number. Only multiply or divide. That's it. And so, when you flip a number across the inequality sign, you have to do the flip. Remember, in our notes, we had the flip-flop to help you remember that that's what you had to do. Okay. We're going to solve a couple of these, and then I'm going to have you solve a couple. Alright, so for the first one, always draw a line down the inequality sign. Think of this like the tower, and this is the ground. There's two whiny princesses, and there's one on the ground. There's some positive guards, and then there's a bunch of bad guys, some negatives. Okay, so we want to remove the princesses as fast as we can. So if I remove this one, that's a negative x. I can remove this one from over here because it's jumping across. That zeroes him out, and I'm left with just the two good guards. I just bring down my sign, and then 2 minus 1 is just x minus 5. Okay, just remember, it's just like when we had the hexagons. When we had the hexagons and the squares, this is essentially saying there's two princesses on one side, and then on this side there was one princess. And we're just removing one from each. So now I still have a princess over here. There's nothing over here, but I still have a princess over here. Okay? Now I want to get rid of these 5 guys. To get rid of a negative, I have to add or put a positive. So these zero out. I'm left with just x. 2 plus 5 is 7. So my answer is that. I didn't have to divide on this one at all. Okay, now I'm going to go down one. Okay, so looking at my two princesses, there's 5 here and 2 over here. I'm going to get rid of these two princesses on both sides. That zeroes them out. And I get 2 left over here. And then 5 minus 2 is 3x plus 20. Then I have to subtract 20 on both sides because the opposite of adding is subtracting. Zero it out. So I have 3x. And see, this is a 2 minus 20. So 2, let me turn it on, 2 minus 20. And I get negative 18. It's okay if it's negative. Alright, now there are 3 princesses, and I want to find out how many bad guys are going to get her, or get them. So I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. X, negative 3, or negative 18 divided by 3. Now, notice, I divided by a positive number. I don't have to flip my sign. It's not negative, okay? I divided, and there is negatives involved, but I don't have to. So I get an answer of negative 6. So, essentially, think of it, each princess is being kidnapped by 6 guards, okay? Now we go down here. Alright. This is a negative, this is a positive. So I'm actually going to get rid of this. So I'm going to plus 6x on each side. So I'm left with 6. 3 plus 3 is 6x minus 6. So far all well and good. Now I'm going to add 6 to both sides. So 6x greater than or equal to 12 is greater than or equal to 6x. Now I have to divide by 6 because they're attached by multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide. X is greater than or equal to 2. Now, there is something, notice how I liked the X on this side. So if I were going to draw these, and I don't know if they're going to make you draw them or not, you have to have the X on the other side. So there's nothing wrong with me seeing how this is kind of pointing to the X, flipping it kind of around so X is on the correct side. Nothing stops me from doing that. I absolutely can do that. Alright, now let's go. I don't know if any of these. Okay, let's go to this one. Alright, so this is a negative, this is a positive. I'm going to add positive 7 to positive 7x to each side. Here's 10x plus 20. And then this has gone away. I'm left with negative 10. So I'm going to have to subtract 10 on both sides. The reason I chose to do this one is because when I was helping solve with inequalities or equations with equal signs, I noticed this is something you guys do. Realize, think of this like truly a subtraction. So your answer is going to be negative 10 minus 20. And you're going to get your negative 30. You can also think of it as negative 10 plus a negative 20. But realize you have to have that negative sign in there somewhere, okay, to get the correct answer. So this is negative 30. Divide by 10. X equals is what's over here. And this is negative 3. This is just like this one. If we wanted to, this is correct. I'm not saying this is incorrect. It is absolutely correct. But if I wanted to make it look more appropriate, it would look like this. Okay? So keep that in mind. When you switch them, you have to switch the sign with it. It needs to always be kind of eating or pointing toward the same number. Okay, now let's try, I'm going to leave this one for you to do on your own, but let's try this one. Okay, I'm going to plus x on each side. I get 8x minus 20, and I get 12 over here. Then I'm going to have to add 20 to both sides to zero this out. So 8x is 32. Now I have to divide by 8 on both sides, and I get 4. So again, I don't really want it to go that direction. I want it to go the other direction. So I'm going to flip it around. Again, there's nothing wrong with this answer. It can be that way, but it's just easier if it's not. Alright, I'm going to let you do this one on your own. Then, again, I put these upside down, guys. You have to think I'm going crazy, because I am. Alright, remember constant of proportionality, okay? Constant of proportionality is y divided by x. They usually are really nice and they put them together. So you're going to have to do y divided by x. So, and you have to do it for every single one. So it would be 5 divided by 20, 8 divided by 32, 14 divided by 56. Now, you're going to get a decimal. That's okay. You can have a decimal on these. You get 0.25. Let's check it. 8 divided by 32, 0.25, 14 divided by 56, 0.25. So you're going to get 2.25 every time. Okay? So that is your K. Look what it says. Y divided by X is what? So you're going to get 0.25. Now, your 7th graders. In 8th grade, you're going to be dealing more with this formula, but right now you're dealing mostly with this one. This is constants. So, K is right here. So you just insert it into your problem, the number you figured out, and then you put x next to it. So it's multiplying by x. All that is saying is whatever number I pick for x, I can put into this perfect formula and it will work out. And you can even check yourself. Like 0.25, pick an you found was your constant. It's multiplication because there's no sign. And pick an x. We'll pick 20 just because it's easy. And you get 5. Is that the answer you were hoping for? Heck yeah, it is. Alright? So then you're going to do the same thing with here. Remember, it is y divided by x. So it's 3 divided by 1.5. 5 divided by 2.5. 7 divided by 3.5. So when you put these in your calculator, you have to put them in that order. 3 divided by 1.5. 2. And you're going to get 2 every time. Okay? I'm doing it fast because I don't want your video to be too long. Okay, so k is 2. And so you need to, it would be 2x. And again, you can double check. But that's all the work there is for constant proportionality. It's simply divide your y divided by your x. Very simple. Okay? So, I want you to do this last one and that one on the equations. We will work on this in class. Okay. Y'all are awesome. Bye, guys.